Yeah, well, first of all, I think our team is doing a lot well right now. You can see in these games that we're in that we are absolutely right there. I know we've come up short in a couple of these recent games, but you get to see when you see our team on the floor, you get to see their improvement. You see that growth that we have. You also get to see our fight and you get to see our resilience, which that teamwork and toughness is what we're going to be about every time we take the floor. And I think we're doing a lot of things really well. I really like our pace of play right now. The tempo that we're playing with is up tempo. I really like the way that we're sharing the ball. We're getting a lot of assists on our made field goals, and I like the way that we're playing as a team. I also like our confidence that we have in some of these bigger moments. You see these close games that we're in, and we're getting just such valuable experience as a team in those games. And you see different players coming through for us at all these different moments that really showcases, what we can become as a team. In conference play, we have 4 players that are averaging double figures, and I think that Delaney Crawford continues to be the star that she is in almost every single game. You see her hit big shots, you see her have key rebounds, you see her doing a lot for our team on both ends of the floor. Can't say enough about Hadley Perriman as well and the way that she's been performing for us, especially here recently, both on the offensive end and the defensive end. You've seen Maddie Cartwright step up, and you've seen her have big games and getting a career high and being able to seek out her shots a little bit more. And then Paige Bradley as well has been really big recently in some buckets in our games. And so really excited that we're getting and showcasing a lot of balance that I believe that we have on our team. Defensively, we're using our versatility a lot, which I really like. Sometimes that versatility comes from a little bit of foul trouble, which we don't always like the foul trouble, but we certainly love that we can be a versatile defensive team. I would like to see us rebound just a little bit better. It continues to be a growth area for us that we're working on, and sometimes we have these really big moments where we rebound really well, and then we have these moments where it just goes into just a lapse for us a little bit that we have to get more consistent in that end. But all in all, I like the growth of our team. I think we're right there. I think we're going to continue to climb. I think we're going to continue to grow, and I really like the team that we can become. That means I talk a lot, Zach, when there's no questions.
You answered everything.
Yeah, that's right. I do talk a lot.
You've had a few games now that kind of keep coming down to the stretch. Is there a way to simulate kind of that late game pressure where you can kind of get some of your players the experience of that without having to come in those, or is that just something that you have to experience in an actual game to kind of learn from?
Yeah, well, I think a little bit of both, right? Like you can't ever simulate those exact emotions that are going to come in those exact times during the game. We certainly practice those special situations every day, and it's so fun to see some of our players' confidence in those moments, because sometimes when you're in practice and you practice some of these special situations, sometimes you use them and sometimes you don't. And so we practice it every day to where when there's a time where we get to use it, we get really excited because we've been practicing this and now's the time to come through. We don't shy away from big moments, and that's one thing that I love about the players on our team is that we don't try to hide it. We don't try to downplay it. We just try to have the confidence in our preparation to be able to meet that opportunity in those big moments. And then I feel like we're doing that on both ends of the floor. Like you look defensively, we're in the game at Temple, and it's a critical advanced timeout in their situation, and we work really hard and we get a 5-second count. That shows huge confidence defensively for us to be able to step on the floor and do what we need to do.
We've kind of talked at varying times that y'all tend to shoot poorly for stretches and shoot well for stretches, and you're encouraging it every time because that's kind of the flow. In the last couple of games, you've had that increased amount of kind of efficiency in shooting. When those things happen, why do you think those things happen? What has made your efficiency shooting, especially three-pointers, better in the last couple of games?
Yeah, well, I think it's the way we're sharing the ball a lot more. When we can have our feet set and we can be on balance and we can be in rhythm, and those are coming off of one more and two more and sometimes three more passes, I think it certainly helps a shooter be more prepared to be able to have that space. Not all of the players on our team have the luxury of having that space. They tend to play a little bit tighter to Delaney. They play a little bit tighter to Elise. And so they're able to get a lot more of their rhythm off of some of the sets that we run to have them get some of those open looks. But I definitely think it comes down to the way that we're sharing the ball.
Coach, you've got
home game coming up on Wednesday. Assess that a little bit and how important it is now, at this point in the season to win these home games.
Yeah, well, for sure, you always want to defend your home court. We're so glad to be back at the Reynolds Center. We love our community here. We love the support that we have. We like being able to stay in our own routine just a little bit, and it is so important in our league to be able to defend home court. You look at the standings and you see, 1 game, 2 games away from being a number of different spots within the conference standings, and a lot of that's going to come down to, can you defend your home court? Can you win at home? And then can you go and win on the road and steal a few on the road? And so the parity in our league and the competitiveness is just at such, it's at such a high level right now. You have to prepare for every single game. You have to be your best for every single game. This Wednesday, it won't be any different, but we're certainly excited to be back in the Reynolds Center.
You can look at Maddie's numbers. Obviously, everyone always goes to what happens offensively, but can you speak to her level of defense that she played?
Yeah, well, Maddie is one of our players that plays both ends of the floor at an extremely high level, and we rely on her on both ends of the floor. You see her scoring, you see her numbers, and you see some of the impressive things that she's doing offensively. But defensively, she has huge assignments every single game. One thing that I love about Maddie is that I feel like she can guard anyone in any position, anywhere on the floor at any given time, and she really pours, her heart into a lot of pride to take those stops, a lot of pride to guard the other team's best guard or the other team's best forward, and to have that mindset, not just to be able to have the knowledge and the scouting reports and know what you need to do to be really efficient and to be really good on that player, but to be able to understand kind of those moments within the games of where she needs to be and when she can take a little bit more risk, and then whenever she needs to stay true to some of those game schemes and principles.
Rebounding yesterday was one of those games within the game, those things that you had to get done, and you guys did. Does that speak to your level of resilience also that you were talking about?
It does. This team, I'm telling you, this team continues to just move forward and move forward and move forward and continues to grow together. We absolutely love the resilience that we have, and what that means is that in the face of these challenges, in the face of the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever's in front of you, you continue to stay together and you continue to press on and move forward as a team. And I think that's a strength of ours. I think that's going to be a competitive advantage that we have, is the resilience that we're developing over these games.
Coach, you fought from behind. It was such a uphill slog for you in Philadelphia. You're down by 17. You rally, and Delaney hits that corner jumper to tie things up after you had the 5-second violation, and then to give up a rebound basket at the buzzer. How heartbreaking is that, and what do you say to young ladies that left their skin on the floor and you lose a heartbreaker like that?
Yeah, those losses are always tough. I'll be really honest, I don't think we're very good losers anyway, but then you have these moments where it's just a heartbreaking loss, where you fight and you climb and you break through these challenges where maybe our field goal percentage isn't where it needs to be, and we get in a little bit of foul trouble and we get in these dips and we give up some transition baskets, and it kind of runs that lead up to a higher number, around 10 or 14. But I know this team, and you guys know our team. We're never out of it. We're going to continue to fight. And because of our offensive ability, we have the ability to turn those games around quickly, and we did that. And so we have the momentum, and we're going into this last play knowing that we have to get this stop. And I felt like we played great on-ball defense. We forced a contested shot, and then there's just this little moment where you've got to continue to be locked in to be able to finish the possession out a little bit. And we fell short, and we came up short. And nobody feels worse than that than our players. They really take these. They take these moments to heart because they're pouring their whole heart into it. And I love that about our team. You're always going to get absolutely everything that they've got, but you've got to be able to understand the learning moment within this. You're going to feel the pain. You're going to feel, the pain of not being able to come out the way you wanted that game to come out in the end. But what you've really got to do is you've got to filter that pain into a growing moment and a learning opportunity. We've got to be able to learn and grow from these heartbreaking things and be able to push forward and move into that next moment, almost with a greater hunger, with a fiercer hunger to make sure that we're going to do absolutely everything we can to come out on top.